Today, I'm going to tell you about why my client walked away from a 2026 Grand Design motorhome. And it isn't for the reason that you might think. Hey everybody, it's Deb with Deb's RV Services and welcome to today's video. Well, I have another inspection story for you, so I really want to get started because this one's pretty interesting. This is a 2026 Grand Design Lineage Series F31Z. It sits on a Ford F600 chassis with a 6.7 liter Power Stroke diesel. The motorhome portion uses heavy gauge aluminum framing in the sidewalls, roof, and floor. Laminated block foam construction, Asdel composite in the exterior sidewalls, and a fiberglass roof. So this coach actually had 7,600 miles on it. So it's not considered brand new, but it's still new. We're not sure who owned it or who had it prior. So I wanted to make sure that it wasn't some lemon that got returned and my client was being taken for, because this was $20,000 off. It was the lowest priced one he found around the country. And because of that, he wanted to make sure he got an inspection because he didn't know if there was a reason for that. And I kind of think there was. So typically these coaches retail for somewhere around $240,000. So this was marked $20,000 off, but it does vary depending on which dealership. So that's a pretty hefty price tag on an RV, right? So I would want to make sure that this thing was really good to go and it was not a lemon before I signed any contract. So I'm actually going to tell you what I found that was working pretty good first, and then we're going to get into what I found. We had a really nice solid roof and I didn't see any problems up there. I was able to test the inverter, the solar, the batteries, the refrigerator cooled properly, the microwave worked good, the air conditioners were working. So all those things worked really well for me. But let me tell you about some of the things that I found that weren't working good. One of the first major problems that I found that, it's not major, but it's still something that needs to be fixed, were the electric stairs. So it seemed to be an intermittent issue. It worked sometimes and not other times. So you would close the door and the stairs are typically going to go inside their electric stairs. And then when you open the stairs come out. So in this coach, it was like sometimes they went in and sometimes they didn't. So it was an intermittent issue and that had to get written up. Talked about this in last week's inspection, where sometimes manufacturers will put sealant around some areas and not others. And this one in particular, it looked like the vertical trim rail on this one had sealant in the front, but not in the rear. My guess is that where the air conditioner releases all of the liquid, the condensation from running the air conditioner, it tends to fall down that gutter rail and goes down that front trim. So they probably sealed over that area because of that reason. That's just a guess of mine. But there were some other areas that were just inconsistent. One part of a window was sealed, but the other part wasn't. So that didn't really make sense to me. So I just wrote it up in the report. So let's get into some appliance issues. I tried to run the furnace and it didn't even turn on. Didn't work at all. The next thing I did was I run the generator on a load. I've told you this before. So I started the generator and I let it run, and I was sitting down looking and doing some of my notes because I want to let it run for a little bit, and all of a sudden it failed. So I went ahead and tried it again because I don't just give things one try and then write it up. I want to make sure I give it enough attempts to make sure there's truly something going on before I write it up. A lot of these things in the video that I'm showing you, you can actually do yourself. I have created a DIY inspection workbook that you can purchase, and you can learn how to do your own RV inspection. If you're looking for an RV out there and you want to know how to do an inspection, go ahead and click on my link in the description. You can purchase the book. It has colorful photos. It gives you detailed instruction on how to perform your own inspection. The link is in the description. In this particular case, it failed. So I decided, because I had two failed generator attempts, once while it was on a load and the next time when I started the engine. So something is going on there and I just wanted to be investigated by a technician. I didn't totally trust that there wasn't an issue. So I wrote that up in my report as well. So I started it up again, I put it on a load and it ran fine. Now later, I went ahead and turned on the engine because there's something that I also know, that when I drive and when you're in a hotter climate, you may want to drive with your generator on. You should be able to turn on your engine with the generator running and it shouldn't be a problem. On the interior, I found some stains on the floor, which it's a fit and finish issue. It could be removed from cleaning, but I did note it. Also, there were some hinges that weren't correct, so a drawer was not sliding in and out properly and needed to be looked at. So these things are easily repaired. They're just fit and finish issues that I find a lot of times when I'm doing my inspections. I was working the main slide, and when I first ran it, it was actually already out when I arrived on the scene because I'm a detective. I went ahead and brought the slide in, and it lagged a little bit on the driver's side. And then I had stopped the button, and then I pressed it again, and it came in the rest of the way. Well, then out fell this little piece that's a seal that was apparently probably caught underneath. And I picked it up and I just placed it on the couch because it was right there on the floor. And then I continued to run the slide back out and back in a couple more times to make sure that it did run fully, and it did. So my guess is that it was that piece of a seal, but I still would like to know where that seal came from, and why is it loose? Was it just, did a tech cut it and just leave that piece behind, or was it attached to something and now it's no longer attached? So I wanted that to be further investigated by a technician. I'm going to tell you about the thing that actually was the deal breaker for my client. So you know that this thing had 7,600 miles on it, right? So it obviously was driven around, still relatively brand new RV motorhome, but driven around. When I looked underneath, I was a little concerned because I told you about this last week. I'm looking at rust, and I told you that I would have a future video that talked about a coach that had rust that made my client walk away. This is what I found underneath. There was surface corrosion in multiple areas on the chassis and undercarriage components, and I want to be very careful in how I describe this. I did not determine that this frame was structurally failing. The frame itself seemed good, but there was a lot of surface rust, more than I would normally see in a brand new RV. Surface rust does not automatically mean that it's unsafe to drive, but surface rust can lead to corrosion and it can worsen over time. So it's something that, to be honest, when you're looking at a car, when you're trying to find a brand new car, you don't want to look underneath and see a bunch of corrosion going on already, right? So why would you want that in your RV? This coach had a lot of surface rust. For a brand new, over $200,000 motorhome, it had a lot of surface rust. Now, my client actually was out west, so he was in Arizona where I normally am, and I'm here in Michigan. And I'm looking underneath mine, and I show him the pictures. And he's like, it kind of bothers me. And I said, yeah, it kind of bothers me too, because it is a lot of surface rust. But it was probably driven around because it does have over 7,000 miles on it. It was probably driven around in the winter. There's a lot of salt here, so it could have picked up that rust. Now, my client went and looked at the exact same model out west in Arizona and found nowhere near the amount of rust. So he decided to turn down this RV, even though most of the things in it could have been repaired by a technician that I found incorrect. He still wasn't happy with that surface rust. He wanted to choose one that was out west that had less surface rust, which means less problems in the chassis part. So that was his ultimate decision. Now, the price was still pretty comparable. So with the $20,000 deal, it was like $219,000, but he found something in the $220 something thousand range out west that didn't have the surface rust. So for him, that was a better deal. My client actually reached out to me today, and I asked him about what was going on with him looking at the other Grand Design motorhome. And he said that it was going well until he found this crack. Apparently, this is a known issue. And so in the cab over, one thing that you really need to make sure that you're looking for are things like frame flex. And there are different types of flexing that can happen. There's the type of frame flex that can happen on a fifth wheel. There are different types of flexing situations that can happen on a Class A motorhome. And there's also flexing that can happen with a cab over on a C-Class. My friend Jacob from Rigger RV Repair, he is a wonderful YouTuber. I watch him all the time, and I am an affiliate for his courses, and that's in full transparency. I could be plugging products all day long because I get emails all the time. I'd rather plug things that I truly believe in. And Jacob lets me take his courses so that I can see firsthand that they are good. I've talked about his shopping course, but he just opened up another one that's 5 minutes to spot a lemon. And it's a great course. I went through it myself. I loved it. So his course is going to help you with certain aspects of making sure that it's not a lemon. And then my DIY inspection workbook is going to dig down a little bit deeper. So if you are interested in Jacob's course, I will also link that in the description. You guys, it's best if you start learning things on your own because we have a mess out there. I mean, I'm not kidding. There are so many horror stories that I hear, and I get people that are emailing me I get all of you that are super kind and talk to me in the comments and tell me about the things that you've had, the problems that you've had. And I don't want you to end up in an RV that's going to be a money pit for you. So in order to avoid this, we need to figure out how to educate all of our customers out there, how to make customers aware of their rights. And we are here to inspect things for you when you can't. So if there's any other way that I can help you, I do offer consultation services too. You can always contact me by email. And if I am in an area where you want to purchase an inspection, please don't forget to fill out my contact form on my website, and I will see you in the next video.